We are a podcast for product marketers and B2B SaaS who feel misunderstood of what they do.
From someone who truly gets what you do and
basically help you feel less like a misfit, being unignorable in your role.
Yo, what's up, everybody? We've got another episode of We're Not Marketers. And we have got another special guest, one we've been trying to get on for a few seasons now. And so we're really happy to get her on for season 5. But as before we introduce our guest, we got to give a couple intros for ourselves. So I'll start it off. Eric Holland, I'm the Franken marketer, and I'll send it over to Zach.
Hey everyone, this is Zach, the sales water lad. Let's kick it over to Gab.
Yo, Gab Bugeaud, sales deck associate, kicking it back to Eric.
Yeah. So we have, like I said, a very special guest. I'm trying to get her on here. She's been playing hard to get. She doesn't actually have a last name, I found out. Just a title. And it's
I'm like Cher.
The PMM. That's right. Cher. The Cher of product marketing. We have got Hattie here. If you don't know Hattie, you've been living under a rock for sure. And she's been doing a great job, especially as of recently, helping product marketers like us get them coached up, making sure they're not feeling undervalued. They're definitely getting some more money in their bank account and finally getting the appreciation that rooted this whole podcast. So we're really excited to have you, Hattie.
I'm so excited to be here. And to be frank, it was me who was having the issues with scheduling. You guys have been so flexible and so open. So thank you so much for taking the time for me today.
Whenever you're ready, we've got a spot. So we're really happy. We're going to have an awesome conversation. I think I want to dive in the same way we always do. And we ask the same question on every guest episode, and we let the mustache man ask it. So Gab, take it away.
Yeah, thank you. So Hattie, are product marketers actually marketers? Why or why not?
I would say no, at least not to the definition of general marketing. So we're actually way more important than general marketing because we're the foundation upon which everything sits. For example, the example that I always give is we couldn't build a house without the right foundation first. You're not going to build a house on sand or on soil directly straight on it. So calling product marketing just marketing is like calling an architect, an interior decorator, or a painter. One lays the foundation, creates the strategy, and ensures the structure is sound, and the other comes in at the very end to make it look pretty. So product marketing to me is the architect of that building and of organizations. With a structural engineer, with a strategist, the foundation center, we define what's being built, why it's matters, who it's for, how it all connects, and without us, an organization risks building something beautiful that no one needs. So we don't just make things look good. We as PMMs make sure that they actually stand up in the real world. So no, as your podcast correctly dictates, we're not marketers.
I love that comparison, and I have a follow-up question on that. So can you circle back to a time when you came in as an architect, as someone ready to lay out the blueprint, but you were treated as an interior designer?
Oh my goodness, yes. My life has been a sequence of extreme highs and extreme lows. So previously, I was so respected as a CEO, as a CMO. So when I was a CEO, I had my own company for 6.5 years. I built out the sales division, the marketing division. We were manufacturing in China, in Morocco. We had even in the UK, we had our warehouse up in Scotland. I was building out a real business behind my name. And then after I exited that company, I was hired as a CMO. And as the chief marketing officer, I was brought into this software company based out in Finland. And in the Scandinavian region, they were like B2B, but also B2G, so business to government. And I was invited on to every major publication you can think of, the BBC, the Telegraph, CBC News, Wall Street Journal. I was speaking about my own company, but also the company that I was working at. I even spoke at Cambridge University. It was wild. So I was like the keynote speaker for product marketing events, for conferences as the CMO of this company and of my own company. So then when I entered into corporate America, Gab, it was like I had hit a completely new world of being an IC and no longer being respected literally from the day dot of why I was hired. And I had a micromanager that made me feel like an absolute child around this man. I didn't understand why I had just been hired into a role that I was now being undermined 24/7. Because for me, growing up, I was brought up in a family home in poverty with a lot of domestic violence. And basically, I had faced constant racism in 1990s London, where everyone was just like racist towards anyone who was like just a little bit more tanned. And definitely if you're black. And what I had no idea was I was being triggered by this dude at this company who was everything that I hated as a workplace bully. I'd felt so small. And bear in mind, Gab, I was like eight and a half years into my career, which I was CEO, CMO, I was really, truly respected. Then I entered in as an IC, and the respect left the window the minute my name hit their payroll. And that's when I was like, what the heck is happening? I felt so small. I used to cry on calls. I didn't know how to battle my way out of it. I told colleagues, I think I have to quit. Maybe it's just this organization. I have to quit. I cannot be around this like micromanaging bully anymore. And then layoffs started happening. And I'm a single woman who looks after myself. I pay my own bills. I don't have anyone to rely on. So I was like so confused as to how such an important role that was like positioned as an important role of product marketing when I was in the interview process was now completely undermined the minute I entered the company. And because I was the exact same person as the person who was truly respected in these big publications, was like I had my voice listened to, but now I was in a niche role that had zero respect. I was like, what the heck is actually happening? So one day I was like, okay, Hattie, I love this product. I love my colleagues. I definitely love my American salary. I love everything about it apart from this micromanager. How do I deal with this? So I was like, I need to stop waiting for things to change. One day I realized I can only control what I can control. So let me start with controlling myself. So I started investing in me. I started investing in building up my reputation, my perception in this American org. I started hiring coaches, doubling down on my visibility and how I was understood and valued by my organization. I realized that this wasn't an isolated event, because this was what so many other PMMs were facing, and I had no idea until I started speaking to other PMMs, because I thought it was just a me issue. But I was like, oh my goodness, okay, product marketing as a whole is undervalued. We're being overlooked. We're being undermined by sales and product. It's rife within product marketing. Okay, I get it. So then I was like, what's wild is I just realized that if this is a systemic issue, how do we solve this issue across the board in a systems thinking way of approaching this? So for me, what I'd recognized was, now looking back, I'm very thankful that everything that's happened in my life, from the good and the bad and the ugly, happened for a reason. Because for me, it's allowed me to become much more of an empath. I listen. I don't judge, even with colleagues who treat me really disrespectfully. And I generally want to help others solve their issues. And because I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt multiple times. So even now as a PMM coach, and people don't respect me for any reason that they conjure up in their heads. I don't know what it is. Some people are like, oh, I see you too much, or, oh, you look too young. What the heck do you know, etc. And I'm like, dude, that's totally up to you, because I know who I am. I build my clients up to have the exact same outlook on themselves, and it's to have an inner strength that cannot be shook by the outside world. And the minute that is brought up and built within my clients to have that inner strength, even if the outside world is saying product marketing isn't valued, or you're not valued here, or the sales team are better than you, or I'm a PM and I definitely know the product better than you and all the features and blah, blah, blah. It's so long as I build up my clients to be like, I am good regardless of what you say to me or what you do to me, and I know the value I provide, and I'm going to keep showing up every day with my best self, and I'm going to do this because of my goal that I want to hit in my personal career, and I'm no longer going to allow any bullies to stifle that. That is the impact that I've been able to have through my clients. So that's how I've been able to be like, we are the architects and not the painters. And if someone thinks you're a painter, they can go fuck themselves, because they literally don't understand who you are, the value you bring, and that's a them issue and definitely not a you issue.
Thank you for that transparency. I think it's like when you're experiencing those struggle and that kind of roller coaster situation as well, I think it's what sets you up for success in the future. And you have two choices, right? Either you deal with it and you don't do anything about it, or you do what you did, which is, I'm just going to be doubling down. I'm going to be making sure that everyone knows that I'm the architect and not the painter, and that I can have a crazy impact on the org. And I think it's a very disservice that you came with like that CMO background, that CEO background, and the only thing that truly changed is just the title. And the title had an impact that, with the micromanager, I think created like a very terrific in a negative way combo of like how you had to deal with this.
Based on your observations so far, do you feel that the problem is today is that we put too much emphasis on our job title?
It's a great question, and I'm not sure if it's an us issue or if it's an organizational issue, because organizations, they place the job title of product marketing without actually understanding what product marketing is. They see it as a catch-all to be like, oh, whatever problem that we're currently facing, product marketing will solve. So they make up their own definition, and I'm seeing it amongst PMMs who are like, oh, I want to apply to a new role, and I see it's product marketing, but it's literally nothing I've ever done before, because they've made up their own JD and it's literally come out of ChatGPT or somewhere, and it's just because they're trying to solve a pain with product marketing as a job title. So in some ways they're making it up as they go along, but equally there are some PMMs who want to stick to the product marketing job title because they're like, I know what the true definition is, even though the organizations don't. So in some ways, I've seen some PMMs get stripped of their product marketing job title and put into other job titles, but they are doing product marketing work. And I think that's the wildest thing, because as you guys have heard, it was literally a job title change for me that dictated the level of respect that I had. And it was when I realized that it's a systemic product marketing issue that we all face on a very deep level that no fucking framework can solve, that we need to solve this first. And if we don't, and if we rely it for other people to solve it, then they are going to be the ones who dictate our career trajectory, Zach. They are the ones who are going to take us in a different route down maybe sales enablement, because that's what the organization wants, versus another organization says you need to sit under product and build out the features and build out the roadmap and then take you in a different direction, versus I sit my clients down and I'm like, where do you want to go? What do you want from your career? Do not allow this one organization to take you down the road, to take you down the garden path, if that's not the path that you want to go down.
When you are coaching your clients today, what's the difference between a toxic work culture or a work culture that is tough, fast-paced, and you should tough it out?
I'm very bullish on this opinion, which is we as PMMs, we face the burnout cycle way more than any other job title I've ever seen. And it's because when we enter into a new job, we're like, oh, everything's great. Everyone understands us. Everyone values us. And then all of a sudden the confusion and doubt sets in when people are like undermining us. And we're like, how? Where did this come from? And then all of a sudden we're burnt out trying to do the chaotic work of the tactics here and there. And then maybe we're like, oh my goodness, I need to start rage applying to different jobs. I need to like look at what else is on the market. And then you quit your job, you find a new one, the cycle continues over and over. So the thing that I'm very bullish on is we need to figure out a way that you don't need to quit your job every time it gets hard. Because in product marketing, specifically amongst the hundreds, if not thousands of PMMs that I've spoken to in real life and online, and that is not an exaggerated number because that's across all different mediums, I have seen PMMs quit when maybe they shouldn't have, and they've even told me a couple months down the line, actually, I had it pretty good there. I shouldn't have left. Like this chaotic startup that I'm at now, like, oof, different. So the difference between whether it's toxic versus whether you should stick it out. And for example, to end the story about what I was experienced with that micromanager. So the first round of layoffs happened. And then I was like, what is it that I can control within my means that can really dictate my respect, my valued efforts, like how I'm perceived, to make sure that not only that am I building up the product marketing function, but myself in my career, so then I can keep my lights on and I'm not on the streets, is can I control within my means? And for me, it took a lot of introspection to look at, okay, where can I do a self-audit to see what are my skill sets that maybe are lacking? And what I noticed with my micromanager was our communication styles were completely off. So I was willing to work on that by taking improv comedy courses in order for me to become a better communicator. Hopefully someone who's listening agrees, who knows. But then what I'd learned was I had gone from literally an unknown name Zach within the organization and being undermined to then within the space of 3 months being the person who was brought into executive meetings. The PE firm knew who I was. People understood what product marketing was and I was respected. So there were 5 rounds of layoffs and I survived every round of those layoffs and I quit on my own accord. So that's why I actually push my clients to be like, I understand that when it's like firmly toxic, like I'm talking if you are being harassed or if there's like full-on racism or discrimination and it's impacting your well-being, your mental health, get out of there because no paycheck is worth that. And especially if you have a supportive partner who you can lean on for the time being, or you have some savings or emergency fund there, then definitely do it. But it's to the other PMMs where I'm like, if there is something within your control, what it does is if you're able to crack this nut and lean in and say, how can I actually become a better, stronger person out of this? It will empower you like nothing else because you can look back at a time that was tough in your life, in your career and say, I got through that through strategy alone. I got through that through me. I got through that through investing in myself and becoming better. So as PMMs, and I feel like this is a unique pattern that I've seen amongst a lot of PMMs is we're naturally very introverted. Believe it or not, I am actually very introverted. Very like, we care about people, we care about serving, we care about the customer, we care a lot. And I think for us as PMMs who are at the intersection of so many other departments who are undermined, who are undervalued, and potentially even like at the last straw of us being like, I don't know how to battle my way out of this, is we take that a lot more personally. We take these like impacts a lot harder because we are so downtrodden. So for me, I'm like, if I can figure out a way to create a bad environment into an even stronger one, and it's within your control, then do it. Because the solution isn't always to quit your job and find a new logo, because respect doesn't automatically live in a new logo or a new job or a new even job title or seniority. Some people come to me, Zach, and they're like, but if I had a senior PMM job title, I would be more respected. And I'm like, dude, I have literally received a DM from a director of product marketing, 30 years plus in the game. I have a few of these in my community right now who are like, I have been brought in, but the CEO does not listen to me whatsoever. He's a dude who's so chaotic. He just doesn't listen. It's his way or the highway. And I'm like, when I tell people who are like, if I get the senior PMM job title, I will be respected. I'm like, I wish it was that easy. It is not. But it's what I try and share to people is if you're able to crack this now, and there are so many PMMs who have, and they are gatekeeping it because obviously it's an unfair advantage. But if you crack this now, then you can literally have 20, 30, 40 years of your career that's just smooth sailing, and you're able to have this impact over and over of like, I'm respected regardless of who I work with, or regardless of their biases, or regardless of how they treat me. I know how to show up, how to conduct myself, how to actually thrive in an environment that wasn't cut out for it. Or if anything, maybe I can create an environment that is less chaotic, and therefore people associate me with calm in the sheer world of American corporate chaos, or like we move fast and we break things and it's around me. No, you don't, dude. Put that down. We're going to be calm and we're going to come with a complete strategy for go to market or whatever the case may be. So sometimes running away from an issue actually does a disservice. It's like a plaster on a gash or a wound on your body. The plaster does nothing. What you need is actual like surgery to get you past that pain point, so then you know it's solved for good.
And there's some things that can be nuances. I think one thing to call out is like the difference between running away from something.
I think that was a really strong call out, because in some ways it is and it isn't. Like in your circumstance, for sure, it's the right thing to leave an organization that completely undermines you. It's just in my brain, I think if an organization hired you at the forefront, clearly they saw something in the role, in you, in everything, right? But like you said, quite rightfully, if you are up against someone, a manager or someone else, or an environment that is impacting your mental health, is making you anxious, is making you dread every single Monday, is making you be your worst self, like I said earlier, no salary is worth that pain. Leave and find somewhere that values you. On the whole, I've seen a lot of organizations still undervalue product marketing, dude. Like they just don't get it. And I think it's a case of, if we can control what we can, then yes. And like you did, I think you did it the right way, actually, because you built yourself up, you invested in yourself, you read the books, you did the courses, you did everything. I'm speaking to, if there are some PMMs who are listening right now who maybe even haven't done that yet, but they see the solution as, oh, another organization will value me. Or maybe a FANG or a MANG company, now it's like Microsoft, will value me instead. And it's like, that is like, you're running away from the issue potentially, because actually it's a systemic one. So I'm totally with you on that. I don't think we're at odds, because I'm a big fan of if an organization or a manager is really impacting your mental health. And luckily, I think I was just, because of my background, of my personal life and my family life, I think I'm built a little bit more different. I think I'm built in like more of a, I just keep, in some ways, I think I probably programmed myself to do better when the punches are thrown at me. So I see it as an opportunity, as opposed to this is a limitation. So I try and bring that oomph, that confidence, that energy to PMMs when they literally have zero. Like the battery is at nil. They are going to run out. They are going to burn out. Because I've worked with a PMM previously within the Atlassian ecosystem, since that was the ecosystem I was in at my last organization, and she burnt out for months and months. And it was the toughest thing to see in a colleague, where she was one of the strongest women I've ever worked with. And to see her riddled by sheer anxiety, by the job kicking her butt, when she was so smart. I've never met such a smart individual. And with her, walking away was the right thing. And I was like, applause, you had to do that for you. And I'm so happy for you. And I'm so grateful that you did that, because 100%, like, do not allow this organization to kill you in the name of a salary. It's just not worth it.
I've been in both situations where, actually my first tech job, it was funny. They tried to push me down the sales enablement path, right? I ended up passing out at my house twice in one day, like just fainting for the first time in my entire life. And that was one of those situations where I clearly knew, you can't be here. This is going to end badly for you, not for your career, like for you, Eric, the person. And then there's been other times recently more where it's not necessarily a toxic environment. It's I can't get my thoughts across. I can't push my agenda. I can't get good best practices instilled here. And I think for that's an opportunity to grow. Like you're saying, like there are things that I know I can do differently, could have done differently. The other is I just can't keep putting in this stuff, and I'm running towards maybe something that I believe is better. And so I see that, and I do encourage more of us to take a hard look and decide, because if it is something where you can learn something out of it, maybe it is a good idea.
So I think that's one step of that, is that you can't always change your environment, but you can change your outlook, and that will help you decide what's the best environment for you.
I think it's a question of perspective too, right? It's like a boat, and PMMs are rowing, and you have to ask yourself, do I still have energy to row? because it's hard, because I'm pushing myself, because success happened outside of the comfort zone? Or am I rowing, but the boat is freaking sinking already, right? Like, I think we should be aware of, and thank you for the emote, Eric. I hope this will be video so we can all see that. But the thing is, it's a question of what are the early, very early on symptom of burnout, and being aware of it, and being just transparent of, okay, this is how I feel. Can I change something? Can I invest on myself? Or am I rowing a boat that is already sinking culturally, but also just from a perspective of I'm hurting myself? I had a meeting with head of product, director of product. I was responsible from a product as a PMM. And I had weekly calls, two sync actually, a long one and a short one on Tuesday and Friday. And I was terrified. I was a grown man. I was grinding my teeth during my sleep. My dentist was like, dude, what the hell is happening? I'm like, I don't know. But immediately when I left that job, this shit stopped. And it's like, I felt like I was between a rock and a hard place, because I was coming to the call and it was like, okay, why isn't revenue going up? And I'm like, dude, there's 1,000 touch points that I need to control for revenue to be going up. And it's just politics and shit and nothing works. And in that situation, I ask myself every single meetings, am I struggling because I don't have strength anymore to row the boat? Or is it because we're in still water and the boat is sinking? So yeah, I think it's a super interesting discussion. And I want to go back to mental health with my question, Hattie. And it's basically, you experience that problem yourself, right? You spoke to a lot of PMM, you did a lot of PMMing before starting your community. I'm just curious, what was your process of validating, hey, this is something product marketers really deeply need? And how were you able to validate that before leaving your PMM job on your own accord?
And also, same as you, I have never ground my teeth in my sleep, but I did at my last organization, to a point where I tell this story to my clients. I woke up one morning and I found half a tooth in my mouth, and I was like, what the heck has happened? So I go to a dentist and she's, you grind your teeth. And I'm like, girl, I've never ground my teeth in my life. What? So then she was like, are you under stress? And I'm like, yes, I work in tech as a PMM. Anyway, so now literally every single night I wear mouth guards. And believe it or not, Gab, a lot of my clients have said the exact same thing, that they started grinding their teeth.
Wow.
Yeah, I had one of my clients had to drop off a call because she was like, hey, I'm actually in my car. I'm going to a dentist because I grind my teeth and they're going to go fix it. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll see you at the next call.
That should be like a temperature test, right? If you're unsure if the boat is sinking or if you're rowing too much, go to the dentist. They will tell you.
They will tell you. They will see signs. Because it was like those level of conversations that made me realize, okay, other people are feeling this pain. And what I did then, Gab, was I created a wait list because, as you said, I was fully employed. I was loving life. I was having a great time and dealing with everything that was going on, and things were turning for the better for me. So I was like, this is great. So then I had some PMMs reach out and saying, oh, I've gone through this issue. So then in order for me to validate, before I went all in on building out what I'm doing right now in productmarketers.com, was I set up a wait list, and then I had over 1,000 PMMs sign up within, I think, 2 to 3 months. And that's when I was like also starting to land brand partnerships who were coming to me, and I was like, oh, holy crap, okay, this is cool. But equally, I'm like, my job is not going to be happy. At the same time, I had like clients on the side of work, which maybe I shouldn't have been doing, but whatever. Like, they were going through layoffs. So for me, I was throwing my London PMM meetups and my mini conferences. I was doing everything on the side. And then I'd realized, you know what, I validated this idea. This is my MVP. There's a lot of people showing me signs of demand. They're actually paying, not just saying, oh, it's a great idea, and not paying, but they were. So then that's when I was like, it's the right moment for me to quit, go all in. So that's how I validated it, Gab.
That is freaking sweet. From our perspective, and when this comes out, I will be quitting my job, so I can say that freely. We definitely enjoy the idea of seeing our community going out and doing more of this and building their own thing. I think now I'm at a place where I'm super excited and I've gotten over a lot of my fear and doubt, but there's going to be a lot of people listening who are at that phase and are not ready to jump out of a plane. So let's talk about some of the dark and scary stuff that you've had to deal with over the last 9 months, unless it's been all sunshine and rainbows.
I wish it's been sunshine and rainbows, dude. It's been nothing sure of it. I've realized that, like we were saying earlier, being employed as a PMM can bring up growth moments. I really like that phrase that you mentioned, Eric, growth moments. Like, my goodness, that really hit my heart, because I now see a ton of growth moments, but they come thick and fast at the exact same time with having my own entrepreneurial endeavor. So I realized that I have a ton of limiting beliefs still, even though I've done a ton of work on myself, invested in coaches and therapists and whatnot. Was limiting beliefs around sales. I had a huge fear around basically being a single woman who's independent and not having anyone to rely on. I have multiple crises of confidence where I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Like, why didn't I just shut my mouth and just keep working? But I think what's been the biggest unlock for me in the last 9 months since building out productmarketers.com has been faith, has been the biggest unlock for me. It's been wild because now I've actually delved in more into my faith, because as an atheist for years and years, I was happy. But equally, I was like, now I believe more in faith and like just following the path, even though I can't see it right in front of me. So I trust that we all, but me specifically, I'm here to serve the people that I'm meant to serve. I'm not meant to serve everyone, because not everyone likes me. Not everyone believes what I'm saying. But the people who hear my voice and they're like, that is exactly what I need, I'm here to serve them. I'm here to help people have huge breakthroughs in their careers, in their lives. And that's why I'm unabashedly myself online. It's because I'm a natural introvert. I'd rather sit on my sofa and watch Netflix and be silent and not be online whatsoever. But I've done the work in becoming bold and confident. So then when other people who are like, I wish I could be that confident, I'm like, you can be, because I'm living proof. So building out my own PMM coaching business has made me become more in the process. So for me to give my clients more, I've had to become more. So I'm coming up to 2 years sober. I don't party. I focused on learning more, relaying more.
Let's
Thanks,
fucking
guys.
Go.
Thank you.
No booze, no drugs.
No booze, no drugs, no caffeine even.
No nose candy on the weekends. Nice job.
Stop.
Nice
No caffeine is definitely, I don't know how
Well
you
done.
do it.
That's
I know,
awesome.
decaf. Thank you. And yeah, I've had to literally become more in order for me to serve my clients at a higher level. So keeping up to date on what's happening with the future of product marketing, ensuring that my knowledge is up to date, ensuring that I bring in any guest experts that have specialities that I don't have, just making sure that they're clear that they're investing in themselves. They're not investing in me. They're investing in themselves through me. So I just make sure that I provide my clients the best experience possible. And in the meantime, I just make sure I'm fulfilling me. I'm giving myself spa days, self-love, like giving myself downtime, because as a coach, I need to make sure that I'm full so I can give my fullness to other people, because they are going through tough situations. Like, I hear stories that are like, I feel like I'm a therapist, but equally I have to hold it together to make sure that I give them the right oomph, so then they have a huge breakthrough in their lives. So it is definitely not unicorns and rainbows, but if you know a solution to that, Eric, let me know, dude.
No, I'm still working on it too. But like the conversation of confidence, for sure. And similar to you, people would probably think I'm an extrovert, but I am very much not, particularly in new situations. And I do believe, very strongly in the fact that you got to create your own confidence, and that is going to get you where you need to go, as much as learning and being the smartest person in the room, as opposed to just being willing to get your hands dirty and make a mistake and learn from that.
People like, when I recognize your strength and your confidence, Eric, it's like game recognizes game. Like, I recognize the fact that you've had to do the work in order to become this bold, confident man. It is not easy. So I know when like people hate on you, for example, or like too big or too loud or too vocal, I don't see it that way. I'm like, Eric is a fully formed man who's done the work, who is confident, but he's done the work. And I respect that 100%. I think that's why we've always just got on. So when people naturally look at someone like you and they're like, oh, who is this guy? Like, where did he come from? Oh, he's so vocal. Who the heck does he think he is? Or they undermine you or whatever. I'm like, what you're doing is you're holding up a mirror to yourself, and you need to take a deep look into what is it about Eric that highlights yourself that makes you feel uncomfortable about you. And maybe there's a growth moment there for you. Maybe there's an introspective moment there for you. And here's the thing. You as a parent, I'm not a parent, so I'm just like, I'm in awe of anyone who has children. So you with baby Enzo, you're able to show Enzo what a confident man looks like. And even if there are haters online having their opinions, for me, who gives an entire fuck? Because if it comes down to your children learning what confidence looks like, so then they can live their best lives and their best selves, good on you. Now that's a growth moment to have. Because like you, I'm an introvert too. And I would rather not be doing this, but I do this so I can serve the right people.
You nailed it. Like, if you got kids, you got to go through these moments. You got to teach them. And you might get lucky and have your son just stand in his daycare, stare at a woman, power move until she bashfully looks down and smiles and walks up to her. Not even shitting you. Not even shitting you.
What?
Not even shitting you. Not even shitting you. This happened last week. I was like, so that's his game? He just straight up stares until they get bashful? What a power move.
And a couple of combos from his father as well.
No, I said I'm gonna learn a few things from him. I don't think it's the other way around.
You should do that at the grocery store. When they ask you to pay, you just look at them in the eye and you say, such a bold, criminally moment.
You know what, patron? Keep your wallet. Everything's on the house.
Oh, shit. Hattie, let's talk a little bit about the future of product marketing, especially with someone who spoke to hundreds, if not thousands of them. A concept that is appearing more and more on our feed is PMM extinction. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. International, whatever.
Dinosaurs.
And so, dinosaurs, yeah, that's a good one. Whether it's AI stepping in or the continued misunderstanding of product marketing, I'm just curious, like, where do you see us stand on our value in the next 1 to up to 5 years?
So my opinion is it's going to be a fantastic opportunity for those who invest in themselves, follow their curiosity into using AI, and proactively build up their perception and visibility around making product marketing understood, but also them valued. And that is going to be bleak for everyone else who doesn't, unfortunately. Maybe that's where the extinction could be. Because if you don't personally invest in you, why on earth would you expect an organization to? Now, will our job title potentially change? Possibly. Will we become directors of AI tools who do the tactical work and we do the strategic? Maybe. What I'm constantly thinking about as a coach to over 100 PMMs across different capacities is, if the tactical elements of product marketing were taken away, what would be required in a PMM to justify a 6-figure plus salary? And that's what I'm constantly thinking about, the profitability of a PMM and how to increase the perceived value of product marketing for my clients. Because we provide insane value and the organizations who get it. So for me, I'm constantly thinking about, in the world of, like you were saying, extinction, or the use of AI and the impact it will have on us as a role that doesn't technically have revenue directly tied to our role, but we do through the means of other people. And this is why it's so important for us to create these alignments with other departments, because we literally rely on them for our product marketing projects to land. Is how do we then justify 6 figures, if not more, multiple 6-figure salaries through what we're doing, and how do we utilize our tools like AI and other means in order to improve the work that we're doing at a rate that's improved, or the quality in which the revenue is created out of it. So in some ways, maybe our job titles might change, maybe it won't, but I know for certain it's the people who will constantly be curious and follow their curiosity who will win. Absolutely.
Love it. Whether it's marketing or product marketing, I think curiosity is a must-have, especially if you want to keep going, because it's constant adaptation. So if you're not a minimum interested into what's happening, it's going to be hard to stay disciplined and motivated for the future, for sure.
Yeah. And that's one thing that was like a huge learning point with my ex-boyfriend. I'll give him credit for this. My ex-boyfriend, he's a famous...
Shout out to the ex-boo.
Shout out to the ex-boo. You know who you are. He's
definitely
a famous...
listening in.
Definitely. Oh, he's definitely stalking. Come on now, Eric. So he's a famous software developer. And the one thing that I learned being around him for 4+ years and around other famous software developers who are all the keynote speakers at conferences, so I was always going to these conferences around these people, is these software developers were always following their curiosity. Always. All the conversations that we were having was around anything that they were curious about. And I don't know if it was like because of their neurodivergency or something, but they would lean in hard when they were curious about something. So we were discussing LLMs literally 6 years ago. Like, they're at the forefront of everything that's going on right now. Like you said, 100% Gab, 100%. If you follow your curiosity and you lean in and you see it, if you see life as like, this is a playful game that we all get to experience, like it's a joyful game. When some days I wake up and like, when did product marketing get so serious? My Lord, like, why is it that everyone's, I'm a professional robotic product marketer and here's my frameworks and blah, blah, blah. And for me, I'm like, why don't you just see the joy in the fact that we get to work with so many different people? We get to listen to customers. We get to create something out of nothing. This is all a game. We're all children playing like Lego, but on a ARR EBITDA scale. Like, it's not that serious. So just lean into your curiosity, read a book, take a course, go to a networking event, speak to software developers who are interested in something, let their passion rub off on you. Like, I just see life as like an absolute blessing that I get to wake up every single day with air in my lungs, and I'm going to follow my curiosity. I'm going to learn something, and I'm not going to listen to any naysayers or any haters or anyone who undermines. I'm just going to do me. I'm going to live life. I'm going to live in joy. I'm going to be around people who give me joy, who give me energy, and God is good, and that's the only person that I bow down to. So yeah, follow curiosity.
We've heard a few questions from PMMs who are at that intersection of, I want to do it. I want to work for myself. But X, Y, Z, like, what are the common roadblocks that you're hearing from your clients right now that are considering that? And based off of those conversations, what's been the guidance that's been helpful for those in making that and jumping that chasm?
So when people have mentioned roadblocks like that to me, I usually try and get to the root cause of it, which is like, you're putting undue pressure on yourself that really isn't required, especially if you are currently employed. If you are currently employed, it's actually a great time to hone your skill in your company right now and to lean into what is it that you can actually take and then produce a productized service out of into the real world. So you don't have to quit your bi-weekly paycheck. You don't have to learn about taxes right now. How about just do the absolute bare minimum, which is find one person a week that's new, that could be your ICP, that could be your customer, and meet them and just chat with them and find out what are their issues. Let's just start there. Because I think a lot of people, quite rightfully, especially within product marketing, we look to April Dunford or the Fletch PMM guys or Emma Stratton, and we're like, we want to do what they do. My goodness. And we look at the end result. And then I go back on my LinkedIn, I'm like, oh, they're 4 years in, or they're 10 years in. Or April, for example, she's going to come into productmarketers.com and speak to my clients. And I'm only going to speak to her about the business side of what she's doing. I'm not going to speak about the frameworks or the positioning. I'm going to speak about purely business. And she knows this. And she's up for it. She's game. Because it's important, because what she did was, which was very smart, she used her paycheck while she was being taught and learning on her job as a consultant, as a PMM, but within the company, she was consulting on behalf of this company that she was working for. She then built up her framework that she then started pushing externally to the world. So in some ways, I'm like, how can you capitalize on the fact that the organization that you work for is trying to extract as much value out of you, but how can you extract as much value out of them, my friend? Do not always think about you're just there to serve this company who has absolutely no alliance to you in the world of tech layoffs and the world of AI. They will literally drop you at the minute that they find something cost effective, which actually they will probably go back on and say, oh, we need to revert because it was not cost effective whatsoever. It didn't provide us with revenue. But instead of seeing it as, oh, a high pressured stake, how about building little roadblocks, your own little roadmap for your career to say, what are the milestones that I need to hit in order to see progress? And one thing that's at the absolute foundation to everything that I teach, because I coach from a very holistic place. And I think that's the biggest shock that any one of my clients say. They're like, I had no idea you're going to go that deep. It's because I don't go...
That's what she said.
Pineapple.
Oh my god. It's now a PG-13.
No, I can't. It's just a reflex. I can't help myself.
Oh my god, Eric. Oh my goodness. I was like, what? I love you. I love you so much. Oh my goodness. How the heck am I going to come back from that, dude? Fuck you. Okay. All right.
And the joke continues.
So good. So good.
I don't even. I genuinely don't know what.
Wait, hang on, shut up. Stop. Okay. I feel like I should just say it again, just for the lull of it. Okay. Don't go that deep. Where was I going? Okay. Because what I've seen with my clients is usually they're taught the doing part, like the frameworks and the books and the courses and the certifications and the doing, and they end up in the tactical completely. So for me, I look at who do you need to become first? What's the becoming piece? And that's a really important piece that I go deep with my clients into. Because if they don't unlock that whilst they're employed, they won't be able to unlock that on their own when the momentum isn't there, when the sofa is calling their name, when they're like, I will just take a month off between my job and my own consultancy, and then the momentum slows down, and then they don't know how to get back to the desk and doing the 8 hours, if not more, a day, just to ramp up, and they don't have the accountability, etc., etc. So in some ways, people see the consultancy route or the quitting the 9 to 5 as the ultimate solution, when actually I'm like, how can we build you up to set you up for ultimate success? So then when you do leave the 9 to 5, you are fully set up. And you guys are testament to this. Like Eric, for example, like by now quit your job and you've done the legwork of the becoming piece. You've become the person who's good at sales, who's good at communicating, who's charismatic, who can be able to get on with everyone, but also you provide tons of value to organizations that you work for. And therefore it translates into the revenue that you make in your own endeavors. So in some ways, I try to minimize the pressure that PMMs feel, because they're like, I see you, Hattie, and what you're doing. I want to do that. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's take a breath. Let's see what are the little steps that will get you there. And believe it or not, the little steps actually get you to your goal faster than bigger ones that you think will actually move the chasm like quicker. So incremental, consistent steps A lot of us here, I think, Gab, you posted over 300 times last year. A lot of people wouldn't even do that. And that takes the becoming part. It's not just the doing part of I'm going to post every day. It's the becoming, which is you're a man of consistency. You're a man of your word. You know how to do the thing. And a lot of people can't do that. They will do it for the New Year's resolution for literally 2 weeks, and then they won't maintain it. And here's how I know I'm right on this. Feel free to disagree. I'm sure you will. But I know I'm right on this because we all have the information. We all know what we need to do. For example, with working out, we all know we need to work out every day. We know we need to wake up and do the workouts and then go to a gym, do whatever. But a lot of us don't. Why is that? I've obsessed over the why. And the why is because you haven't become the person who's being able to do it. Otherwise, you'd be doing it. And the same thing happens in work. And the same thing happens in consultancy. For example, another one is I'm working with a PMM consultant right now. She has a limiting belief that I've unpicked with her, which was she was actually doing really great in terms of doing the talks, getting in front of the clients. But the minute the client would say, hey, I'm ready to go, send me the invoice, she wouldn't. She wouldn't. Now, this might sound weird to a lot of people, but when I think about, oh, okay, you have some money limiting beliefs, or you have some sort of roadblocks in your mind that are stopping you from accepting large amounts of money. So there's actually something in you right now that is hindering your business, even though you have told me you want to hit 6 figures by the end of the year. And that's where the becoming piece comes into it. That's why I'm not like here's a framework. Like, what would a fucking positioning or messaging framework do for her in that moment? Nothing, friend, nothing. So then it becomes like, where do we need to tap into with your becoming piece that allows everything to unlock? And that's the work people are afraid to do. That's the tough work, whether you're in employment right now or self-employment. It is tough because you need to look at yourself and be like, where am I holding myself back? Where is my growth moment? How can I unlock something in me that maybe my parents instilled or my teacher instilled? Maybe someone told me to shut up once when I was a kid, and therefore it now has an impact into my 30s and 40s. And believe me, it has an impact. It all has an impact. So that is how you cross the chasm. It's like relinquish pressure, lean into faith, but look at the becoming piece first. Lean into that.
I'm ready to quit my job today. Launch promotion tomorrow. Let's go. No, and then we can head out. Hattie, great point about trying to build something in your in-house. So we know we can find you on LinkedIn, but where else can people come take a look? And what do you have coming out over the next couple months?
Yeah, so if anyone is interested in working with me, I would highly encourage you to take the Profitable PMM Challenge. It's a 5-day live coaching experience where I teach how you can become respected, paid, and valued as a product marketing manager, all through my strategic visibility system that has helped me in my career and over 100 plus PMMs too. It's the best value way to learn how to become profitable in your career and how to build a profitable consultancy if you want, all through how you're perceived and valued. So you don't need to beg for a promotion or wait to be seen, but to strategically make yourself the absolute no-brainer choice when promotion season comes around or bonus season comes around. And it enables PMMs to become their best version of themselves and have their dream career. So I'm super excited about it. Join at productmarketers.com. I would love to see you in the Profitable PMM Challenge.
Everyone go check it out. And Hattie, thanks for coming. But for everyone else listening in, that's another episode of We're Not Marketers. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.
See you, everyone.
For listening to We're Not Marketers. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe, review our podcast, and share this episode with other PMMs. Thanks again, and see you soon.